Hey kosher.com, I'm Danielle from Peas Loving Carrots, back again with another cook it once, serve it twice dinner. I'm super excited about this one because it is vegetarian. I know that sounds crazy, like no, it has to be dairy or it has to be meat for dinner, but no, it doesn't. It could be vegetarian and it could be satisfying and it could be delicious. This is actually one of my kids' favorite meals. It's kind of a nod to my Israeli homeland, but it's really delicious, and I'm gonna show you how to repurpose it into a serve it twice dinner that can be parve, dairy, or meat. Let's just jump right in. The first thing we need to do is we need to get these beans soaked overnight. So yes, it does take a little bit of forethought, but let me just show you. It's as simple as that. Boom, no saran wrap, nothing. Take this, leave it on your counter, walk away. Oh my gosh, all my prep work, done. Bye, see you later. Bloop, bloop, bloop. It's the next day. Our beans are soaked overnight. You can see they got nice and plump, which means they absorbed a lot of the water and they will take much less time to cook. So now I'm just gonna get these drained off, and then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make our shu'it, which is how you say beans in Israel. And it's a very traditional Israeli tomatoey, brothy stewed beans that we eat with rice, and it's delicious. Hot, medium, high heat. Once your pot gets nice and hot, we're gonna go in with 2 tablespoons of oil, our onion, a pinch of salt because we want to get these sauteing, and a little bit of pepper. If you don't want pepper, you could leave it out. We're going to give this a quick stir, and we're going to let these cook for about 5 to 6 minutes, medium-high heat, until they become translucent. Once your onions are translucent and just starting to brown, like just the very beginning, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add our tomato paste. We really wanna get the tomato paste in there before the other products because we wanna mix it around, and we want the tomato paste to have a chance to caramelize so the flavor can deepen, the color can deepen. Now we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna add in our paprika. Same thing as the tomato paste. We just want to let it, get nice and cozy with the hot oil in there so that it can release its flavor. And now it's time to add our soaked beans. Before we go ahead and add our water, we're going to get our beans coated with the tomato paste and the paprika. There we go. Oh my gosh. Really use your flat wooden spoon to scrape the bottom of the pan. We want to get all the flavor off the pot and into the beans. And that's really it, folks. Now we're just going to cover this with water. We're going to bring the mixture to a boil. Then we're going to reduce it to low heat. We're just going to let it simmer. After about 2 hours, it's going to be thick and rich. A lot of the water is going to be absorbed. It's going to have this bean stew kind of consistency, and it's gonna be so delicious. We're gonna turn off the heat. We're gonna ladle this up. Yes, that is exactly what you want. You want a nice amount of beans. You want it to cover your rice, and then you could just eat it like this. It's definitely delicious, but if you wanna do it right, you're gonna take some tahina. You're gonna drizzle it over the top. You could drizzle it over the whole thing. Personally, I like it on the side. Take a little with your spoon, take a little rice, dip it in, and then you guys know how I feel about spicy food. I love spicy food. We always have slug in our fridge. It could be red, it could be green, it could be homemade, it could be store-bought, it could be anything. You're just gonna pile that right on top. Here it is, guys. Cook it once, serve it twice, dinner number 1. Vegetarian, delicious, nutritious, super yum. I know, you're thinking, what am I gonna do with the leftover beans? I'm gonna show you. Don't worry, I'm gonna show you. All right, it's the next day. We have our leftover beans. What are we gonna make? We are gonna make a minestrone soup. First things first, we need a pot. We're gonna set that to medium-high heat. We're gonna go ahead, add in our oil. And remember, we have onions in here. That's how we started this dish. So we're gonna go in with some carrots, some celery. You guys know how I feel about this. We have discussed this. Peel your celery. Take a peeler, run it down the back of the celery, or just crack the end off and peel off the strings. It will make it so much more pleasant to eat. I promise you, it will change your celery life forever. You'll be like, oh my gosh, I like celery. I know, because it's meant to be peeled. Drop in your celery. We're gonna get that just softened. It's gonna take 3 to 4 minutes. Let's throw in a pinch of kosher salt, help that move along a little faster. Once your veggies are nice and soft, we're gonna go ahead and add some garlic, a nice amount. Like, we really want this to be flavorful, you know? Get that garlic in there, and right away, you're gonna give it a stir. That's it, the garlic is fragrant, we're ready. We can go ahead and add in our zucchini, a little bit of red wine. Music to my ears. Okay, let's get that going. Just gonna let that alcohol cook off for a minute or two. Now we're gonna go ahead and add in our leftover bean stew. We're gonna get that mixed up and incorporated. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty already. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add in a can of tomato sauce. So we're gonna take the can, pour it in. Before we pour our vegetable stock in the stew, because right now it's a stew, right? Like, we want this to be a soup. We want to give it some liquid so that there's something for the noodles to soak up. We're just gonna pour a little bit into our can. Like, if you've ever seen your mother cook, you know how to do this, right? Boom. We just can't waste. It's not in our DNA. All right, let's pour in our stock. Now you can make this as thin or as thick as you want. I will say though, if you are going to opt to put in some sort of noodle at the end to make it a little bit heartier, you are gonna need a little bit more liquid for the noodle to absorb. Okay, that's perfect. So I used about 8 cups of broth here. I'm gonna give this a stir. I'm not gonna add any salt because we did salt the vegetables. We seasoned our bean stew very well, and these do have a fair amount of salt, so I'm gonna wait till after it comes up to a boil to taste it and adjust the seasoning. Let's give this a mix. Let's throw in a bay leaf, is my secret weapon. Anything that cooks for a long time needs a bay leaf. They're just an underutilized herb. We're gonna go ahead and start adding in our spinach. Now, you don't need to put spinach in your minestrone soup. I personally love the wilty greens in any soup. I love wilty greens all the time. So I'm gonna put in, this looks like a huge amount of spinach. It's gonna be this much spinach. So if you wanna put in your spinach and actually have some in every bite, this is how much you're actually gonna need. You'll see, so we'll put it in. It looks like a lot, it looks like a lot, it looks like a lot. Boom, our spinach is gone. That's what happens. All right, we're gonna bring our soup up to a boil. Once it's boiling, we're gonna cover the pot, lower the heat, and let the soup simmer for like a good hour. Let all the flavors develop, let everything get happy, get to know each other, get delicious. And then, here's the key. 20 minutes before you go to serve the soup, we're gonna raise the heat right back up. We're gonna bring the soup back to a boil, and we're gonna add in our pasta. We don't wanna do this now or too soon because the pasta will just keep absorbing the liquid and become mushy, and we don't want mushy pasta. We want like a really nice chew in there. So we're gonna do that at the end. All right, I brought my soup back up to a boil. I'm gonna go ahead and add my pasta. This is my favorite shape for this soup. It's like a tiny little diddolini. I don't know why, it just makes me happy. You could use whatever shape you want. I'm gonna throw those in. That's gonna take about 8 minutes to cook, and then dinner is ready. All right, it's been 12 minutes. Our noodles are perfectly al dente. Look at that, you could see everything in the soup. Carrots, zucchini, celery, the spinach, the noodle, the beans in this like really rich, delicious tomatoey broth. We're gonna plate it up. Oh my gosh. See, that's what I'm talking about. I love all forms of wilty greens. That's my favorite part of any soup. And there you go, a really delicious, super easy to make minestrone soup made from our leftover stewed beans. That's how we do it here on kosher.com at Cook It Once, Serve It Twice. I'm Danielle from Peas, Love, and Carrots. Have a great day. Bye.